everyone, good afternoon to all of you. Thank you for joining us for our music lesson for this week. This week we are continuing with our work on You've Got a Friend, which we started last Monday. We appraised that song last week, and we had a look at that and how the song was sort of put together. And then this week we're going to look and appraise the locomotion first, and then we'll have a look at a few different things. Before we get started, if you just make sure you've been onto Teams and you've got your assignment open, you can answer a lot of the questions as we go through, which will probably make it easier for you to answer them if you do it as we go through, because I probably will tell you a few of the answers and it might make it a little bit easier for you to do that rather than trying to remember everything and then try and do it right at the end. So I do recommend, if you have got your device, if you can open it up on another page, or if you've got it in front of you on something different, just so that you can look at the questions at the same time as looking at the video. I think that will make it a lot easier for you. Okay, so we're going to start with this song. We're going to listen and praise the locomotion. So you have got these four questions on your sheet that you can answer as we go through. Now, the thing is with music is very personal. We don't all like the same music. We don't all feel the same way or react the same way to music. So it's absolutely fine if your answer is different to mine, or if some of the children in our classes' answers are really different to each other. That's quite normal for something like music, okay? Because we're all very separate, very different. And even within your household with your brothers and sisters, you might all have a very different opinion on the same song, and that is completely normal and fine. Okay, we're going to think about these four questions, and as we listen through, I'll play it through once for you, give you a chance to answer these four questions. I might give you some of my answers as well, and then we'll move on to the appraise section, which is also on your assignment on Teams, and we'll go through those questions one by one and give you a chance to answer at the same time. Okay, so let's go through this one now. Everybody's
doing a brand new dance now. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. I know you get to like it if you give it a chance now. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. My little baby says I can do everything. It's easier than learning your ABC. So come on, do the locomotion with me. You gotta swing your hips now. Come on, baby, jump up, jump back. Well, I think you got the night. Whoa, now that you can do it, let's make a change now. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. A chugga motion like a railroad train now. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. Do it nice and easy now, don't lose control. A little bit of rhythm and a lot of soul. Come on, do the locomotion with me. Move around the floor in a locomotion. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. Do it holding hands if you get the notion. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. There's never been a dance that's so easy to do. It even makes you happy when you're feeling blue. So come on, do the locomotion with me. Come on, you gotta swing your hips now. Come on, that's right. You're doing fine. Come on, do the locomotion. Come on, baby. Jump back. Come on, jump back. You're looking good. Come on, jump back. Come on, jump back.
Okay, so that's the song Locomotion. It's probably different to a lot of songs you've heard. So let's think about this. How does this song make you feel? Now, obviously, you might have written something already. Knowing you guys, you'll have written some interesting responses. For me, it's quite an energetic song. It's quite a cheery song almost. It does make you kind of feel a little bit more, maybe more awake than you were before. So that's kind of for me. In terms of what it makes me think of, I don't no. It kind of makes me think of like the 70s or the 80s. I don't know. I haven't actually looked yet when this song is from, but it makes me sort of think of that period of time in history. Makes me think of some movies that I've watched around that time. But what does it make you think of? Does it make you think of anything specific or not at all? Does this song tell a story? I like songs that tell stories, and You've Got a Friend, I think, has got like a clear, like, sort of, if it's not a story, it's a message. This one, I really struggle to know whether or not it's got a story, and that's not a bad thing. I don't think all songs have to have a story, but I do find this one a little bit trickier to sell. So I'm interested to see what you write with this one, because you might pick something up that I've not, so that might be quite interesting to read. And then, how old is this piece of music? So like I said, I haven't looked yet. I've got a bit of an inkling when I think it might be from, but that might be quite different to when it is actually from. So that'd be interesting to find out. And I do like reading your guys' answers, because you always you do make me laugh sometimes with your interesting answers on when the song is from, because I think it's difficult for you guys, isn't it, to tell. And you were, I suppose you're a bit younger, quite a lot younger than me, so it's very difficult for you to sort of pick times in history where you think these songs are from. But yeah, it'd be interesting to find out what you think of that. So we're going to go move on to the appraise section. So make sure you've answered those 4 questions now. If you've not done that, just pause the video, make sure they're answered first, because otherwise you'll get overwhelmed if there's too many to do. Okay, right, I'm going to move on to the appraise section. So just like I said, make sure you finish those 4. Right, so we've got some different questions here. Now, what I will do, because it's hard to remember this if you're just answering it sort of blind, the first one says, does the tempo stay the same all the way through the song? Now, tempo is the beat to the song, okay? So it's sort of when we do that whole thing in music, where we do the whole move your body to the beat, that's like this, okay? So you've got to think, is it staying the same all the way through? To give you the sort of best example, the thing I'll do is I'll start playing it at the end of the first verse, so you'll get the verse and the chorus. So that should give you a good range there. Okay, let's play it from here. Okay, so do we think the tempo stays the same all the way through the song? Get that written down, and then I will give you the answer. Okay, I'm putting the answer on now. So yes, it stays the same all the way through the song. So it never changes. It stays the exact same all the way through the song. Okay, next one. In the music, dynamics means how loud or how quiet the music is. What are the dynamics then in this song? So does it get louder at certain parts and quieter at others? Or is it the same all the way through? Let's have a listen and see what you think. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. Do it holding hands, you get the notion. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. Let's stop up in the dance, that's so easy to do. It even makes you happy when you're feeling blue. So come on, do the locomotion with me. Come on, you gotta swing your hands down. Okay, let's have a go then at that question. So I'm going to put the answer on now. If you've not read it yet, pause the video, write the answer, and then come back. Okay, I'm putting it on. The dynamics don't really vary. I don't really feel like this song varies too much as it goes. I feel like as I've listened to this now a few more times, I think I might have listened to it 3 or 4 times. I've done it a few more times since before you were in the lesson. I'm starting to maybe see the story a little bit more now, but it's just taken me a few listens to kind of get into it and to know what it's about. So can you identify the different instruments and voices that you've heard? Right, I heard some different instruments at a certain point over here. So write a note on your assignment, any instruments you hear. You might get some right, some are easier to find than others, some are a little bit harder. It is a little bit different to when we did You've Got a Friend, and they're not the exact same instruments of what's in that one. There is some differences, okay? A little bit of rhythm and a lot of soul. Come on, do the locomotion with me. So listen, what can you hear there? What instrument is that? Now what can you hear there in the background? Okay, let's have a look then. So I'm going to put the answers on for you. I hope you heard then the bit that I was trying to make you listen to here in the chorus. There's a sax playing at that point. Let's see what else we've got. So we've got drums in the background. You had drums all the way through. The drums sort of tailed off in that part where the sax was, and it was the sax and the vocalist. You have the sax, it's a saxophone. You know, if you remember, think of The Simpsons, what Lisa Simpson plays. She plays a saxophone. Guitar, bass, female vocal, and backing vocals. Okay, so you've got a lead female vocal, and then you've got a backing vocal singing behind. Did all the instruments and voices play or sing throughout the song? I kind of already gave you the answer in when I just said a minute ago. But have a little think, write your answer down, and I'll put the answer on in a second. Okay, I'm going to put the answer on now for you. So mostly you do have a sax solo after verse 2, which is what I was saying to you here about the sax solo. So there is a part which is just sax. So it is slightly different and it does change at certain parts. Most of it is the same. It's just that small part there that changes. What style of music is this? So style of music is it pop or metal or rap? All the different types, different sort of genres, shall we say, of music. So what style do you think this fits into? Is it like a blues? Is it a jazz? You might find this tricky. If you've not listened to lots of different types of music, it'll be quite hard to find that. And that's why we're doing this sort of lesson, so you can learn different types of music. That's not just the ones that are in the top of the pops or in the hits every week. So these are slightly different, okay? Right, I'll let you listen to a little bit again, just in case you can't remember it, and then just write down your answer, and then I'll put what it is on. Okay, let's have a look at that answer then. So what style of music? You've had a chance now to write something down. It's a pop song from the 1960s. I said 60s earlier, didn't I? Did I say 70s? I might have said 70s. So I was a bit out, but from the 1960s. So it's a pop song. So like what you listen to, that's always in the pop music of today, which is all the ones that you all listen to. But it was a pop song from the 1960s, so it's just a little bit older. I mean, quite a bit older, isn't it then? So thinking, wow, like 60 years. That's quite a long time, isn't it? Okay. Right. How is a song put together? So how a song is put together is like the different layers that make up the song. So songs are made of verses, and then they have choruses. Choruses repeat all the way through. So verses tend to be different. Choruses are the same bit that's repeated throughout the song. You have bridges that sort of connect the two little parts. Sometimes you have solos, and you have an introduction, and normally like sort of at the end you have it sort of tails off a little bit towards the end as well. So you have to think now, how is it put together? Now, if you can see the bottom of my screen here, it kind of shows you, it color codes it into the different sections. So I don't know if you can recognize that. What I'm going to say, rather than me play it again all the way through, you can go back to the start and listen to it again and see if you can work out what it is. I'll give you a little bit of time to write an answer. But how do we think it's put together? So I think this is built slightly different to other songs that you may have heard, and it's built very differently to like You've Got a Friend. It's got a more simplistic, I suppose, like building blocks. It's a little bit different. But anyway, have a go at it. Pause this video, have a go at finding the answer, and I'll put it on in a second or two. You ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so you've got an introduction, verse 1, verse 2, instrumental section, and verse 3, and then an outro. So there's no chorus. That's a massive difference to most songs. Most songs have a chorus that repeats 3 or 4 times through. That's the bit of a song you always know. You always know the chorus because it plays it so often. This one doesn't. That's very different to many of the songs that you will be listening to. So I think that's quite interesting. And then they've got an instrumental section, sax solo. Originally, when I listened to this, I thought that was the chorus, but obviously it's not because it's just a solo. That's the only part in it. You've got an introduction and then an outro, which is the bit where I was talking about where it sort of trails off towards the end. So it is very different. And that's why this is all red at the bottom, because the red shows that it's a verse, okay? The blue always shows you an intro and an outro, and this bit here is a solo, the fact that it's green. Okay, let's. The last question I was going to ask you to do is, did you like the song? This is a personal opinion. You're not offending me if you say you don't like it. That's fine. But what I do ask you to do is give me a reason why you don't like it. Whatever that reason might be is fine, but just make sure you're explaining yourself, okay? We can't just say, don't like it. Okay, I want a bit more from you from that. I want a bit more effort, okay? If you liked it, brilliant. Tell me what you liked about it. Okay, get those all written down. And when you're ready, we're going to have a look at the extended listen. This bit here just takes you to the certain parts in the songs. So here, if I press improvise solo saxophone, it'll take you to that part of the song, which is here. Okay, so that's the improvised sax solo. Now, if I go to this bit here and press backing vocals, it'll take me to where all the backing vocals were, which is in verse 3. Okay, so listen if you can hear the backing vocals and what they're saying. Move around the floor in a low motion. Come on, baby, can you hear them? Do it holding hands. They're sort of repeating almost. So the singer is saying the lyrics, and then the backing vocals are sort of saying the similar or slightly changed lyrics behind. And you can hear there's like a couple of them together that are singing those. It says here hook, so let's click hook. See if you can hear the hook now. Yeah, can you hear that sound in the background, the backing vocals? That's the hook. We've got a hook repeated here, so let's see if we can hear it here. Yeah, say it again. And then we've got embellishment of the lead vocal again in that same section. So there's just a little bits there. Okay, let's have a look at the Fastbacks then. So Locomotion is a pop song. It was written in 1962 by American songwriters Gerry Goffin and Carole King. So Carole King wrote You've Got a Friend, so it's the same person, okay? So that's interesting, isn't it? So the same person who wrote this one also wrote You've Got a Friend. Carole and Gerry were married and worked together writing songs for a record company where pop artists would sing their songs. Little Eva was Eva Boyd, their babysitter, actually more of a nanny who looked after their daughter Louise. They were all very young. Eva was 17, Carole 19, and Gerry 22. One day, Carole came up with a melody that Gerry thought sounded like a locomotive train. And when he saw Eva dancing with her daughter to the tune, he got the idea to make the song about a brand new dance, the locomotion. So locomotion is a dance. He wrote the lyrics and they brought Eva to the studio and had her record the song as a demo. Their producer thought Eva's vocal was fantastic, so they named her Little Eva and had her record the song. The only downside for Carole and Gerry was losing their nanny. Most of their lyrics of this song describe the dance that became the locomotion. So this song does have a story then. It's got quite an interesting story. And it's all about a dance, the locomotion dance. So what you might want to do after this is find out a little bit more about this and have a look on YouTube and see if you can find out what that dance might be. Okay, so we've spent a lot of time looking and appraising this one. I have put onto your assignment for you to also appraise You've Got a Friend. So I will play that shortly for you, and I won't play it all maybe because we did listen to it last week, but just to give you a chance to answer those questions as well. So this one was in 1962. So if you look at in terms of where it comes in history, 1962 just falls into the contemporary period of music. So these are all the different periods of music. So you've got early music, we've got Renaissance here, you've got classical, romantic, early 20th century, and mid 20th century, and then contemporary, which is this pink section here. You can see here that this song comes in sort of the same sort of time as like Miles Davis was singing, Paul McCartney was, Stravinsky, Benjamin Britten just, and Duke Ellington, because it was right at the start of the contemporary period. So it's a different period of music. In terms of music technology at this period of time, they would have been using tapes, okay? Maybe they would have started, obviously they started electrical recording on vinyl, but then they would have been starting to move on towards sort of compact cassette, maybe towards the end of the 1960s, okay? So it's that sort of period of time, which for you guys is probably really hard to imagine because it's so different to how we live now. And it was also it was before Neil Armstrong, first man on the moon in 1969, so it was 62 this song came out, so 7 years before the first man on the moon. That does make it feel like a very long time ago, doesn't it? And it was written from it's an American, again, 1960s American. I do think it has that sort of American style that you can tell it's an American pop song. Right, let's have a look at the You've Got a Friend then for you, and then we'll move on to the next task.
and troubled, and you need some love and care, and nothing is going right. Close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call, and I'll be there. You've got a friend. It's the sky above you, grows dark and full of clouds, and that old north wind begins to blow. Keep your head together and call my name out loud. Soon you'll hear me knocking at your door. You just
Okay, we'll leave this one there because you have listened to it before. So you've just got those 4 questions for this section. So you've only got those 4 to answer. So look at those 4 questions and have a go at answering them. You can pause this video, or you can do it at the end. That's fine. Either way is okay. Right, so we obviously can't do all the music activities we would do if we were in school. If we were in school, we would have the glockenspiels out and we would have another go with them for this song. And you were getting really good at the glockenspiels when we did our last unit for Happy. So it's a bit of a shame that we haven't got them, but I promise when we do get back into school, we will get the instruments back out and you will have a time to do some actual music with instruments as well. Now, as always with our music, part of this is learning to sing the song. Now, this song, You've Got a Friend, is a song that you have experience with because it has been done in Mr. Surridge's singing assemblies. Now, when we used to sing this in assembly, and it was a while ago now with everything that's going on, but when we used to sing this, we didn't sing this version. We sang a version by McFly. So McFly re-recorded this song in the 2000s, and it's their version that we listened to. So it might sound slightly different to their version. But we're going to have a go at learning it. Today, if we go on to the Learn to Sing the Song, we're going to look at learning. It makes sense for me personally for you to start with the first verse and the chorus. So I will give you the link and the assignment for this song, and I want you to try and learn the first verse and the chorus to this song for today. So you've got the work to do in your assignment, all the questions to answer that we've talked through together, and then I want you to learn the verse and the chorus, okay? The first verse and the chorus. Then next week we'll look at the next verse and the bridge part, and then after that we'll have a look at the main vocals and we'll put it all together, okay? So hopefully this has been all right for you and you've been able to follow this along. Make sure you do get all your assignment finished and you do open it and then submit it when you're done. Okay, well, it's been nice doing music with you. Although I can't wait till we're back in the classroom, we can do it in the normal way, how we've always done it. But that was very nice and I will see you later, okay? Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.